All right, guys, what's up? How are we doing today? What is it? What is it? Friday, Saturday? Is it Saturday? Market recap. I just finally having a chance to make a video, so we're gonna do it. Gonna dive right in. You know how we do it. We're gonna start with sealed and then move on to singles. But yeah, without further ado, let's. Jesus, not even ready. But I'm not gonna reset this one. We're just gonna go in because it works. All right, so what do we got? Mega Evolutions. Sorry. Still sitting around $300. This is up from the $215 that I sat at for a good amount of time, and people thought it was going to pass below the $200 mark. Destined Rival still at that $313, $316 mark from last week. A lot of people said, oh my God, Evolutions is going to crash. It is still at $100, and we still have the Sam's Club premium pack thing coming out. Kind of reminds me of Blooming Waters and Sea and Sky. We'll see what happens. You know, I mean, Prismatic has been stubborn about dropping in price. But yeah, they're making this their example child of we can do it. We can bring it down to MSRP. Yeah, if that happens, don't be afraid to pick it up. Moving on from that, Destined Rivals case. I already kind of talked about that. 151 bundles going up to $80. They were 73, I think, in the last video we did, which was last week. Moved up quite a bit. Let's see, White Flare and Black Bolts still coming down a little bit. I'm surprised. With the 79 market price and the 84 market price on Black Bolt. You're looking at the same price as Journey Together. I don't know that these aren't a good pickup, right? I mean, I think that you might be able to pick some of the. Anyways, I did. I picked up some of the Black Bolts. And yeah, not upset about it. Evolving Skies, doing Evolving Skies things. You know, it is one of our telltale signs that the market is about to move when Evolving Skies moves. So keep that in mind. Prismatic Evolutions booster bundles still at about that 64, 67 range that it likes to bounce between. Let's see here. Destined Rivals booster bundle still, I think this is a decent pickup, especially with the booster box moving the way it is. You know, 40, well, maybe not. Especially if they start hitting some of these reprints. A lot of people were saying Surging Sparks is crashing. It's still 245. I don't know why they're saying that. Yeah, they can say, you know, a reprint's coming, but reprint doesn't mean what it used to mean anymore. Prismatic Evolutions Pokemon Center ETB still coming up the ranks, still is one of the best investable products of the year. You could pick this up at $60 MSRP. You're looking at $324 right now. It's kind of crazy. But yeah, still a pretty good pickup. A lot of people said that was going to crash when they reprinted, or not reprinted, but re-released more. What are we on, our fourth? No, actually, I think we're on our fifth Pokemon Center Prismatic Evolutions release. That is crazy that it's still $300. But yeah, it just goes to show you what this product can do, will do. The day it goes out of print. I mean, it's going to be one of those things you definitely want to have. So it's not going to get any cheaper. You know, you've had 5 of these things happen. If you haven't picked one up yet, you know, I don't know when you're going to pick one up, because you've had a lot of opportunities and you have a lot of history to prove how it's going to react even after one of those drops. So anyways, moving on. Same thing with the Destined Rivals Pokemon Center. This is one that I was pretty high on as well. Picked up a few of these when they were cheaper, so glad I did that. But yeah, I don't think it's gonna stop at 241 either. But yeah, moving on. Those are safer than, especially when you're afraid of reprints. You know what I mean? But again, you can never go wrong with a booster box. But I'm saying things like the booster bundle and whatnot. Premium collections, those are good pickups as well. I know Target released some 151 Blooming Waters. A lot of those should be hitting your Facebook marketplaces from the scalpers. Go get them, you know, show them that you know a little bit more about Pokemon than them. Pick it up for 100, 110, maybe. That's what you're going to be getting it at now. Yeah, I'd go pick them up at that price. If you get them down to 100, even if you do like a bulk buy, that's pretty good too. I think most of them are probably going to be listed at around 115. That's what they're doing in my area. You definitely move them down to 110. You know, I'll drive out there, pick it up. I'll do 10, whatever, you know. Keep that in mind. Maybe you can't do 10. That's okay too. But this is still a good pickup. So definitely consider doing that. Let's see. Lost Origin. I'm going to tell you guys something today. I think this market, these 3 boxes can still switch up. I'm going to say it. It's going to be a hot take. It's going to be a hot take. I really think people are sleeping on Brilliant Stars. I think when Brilliant Stars came out, a lot of people had it right. I think this is one of the better boxes of the era. And I think a lot of people are sleeping on it. And, finally it's kind of shooting up. I think it's $585 right now. So ignore that market price. We'll look into it. But Fusion Strike is about to be $1,000 box. Lost Origin is just going to follow the same path. The tricky thing about these things is we saw it with Evolving Skies. It didn't want to push to that 2000. Somebody bought, a 2001 just to say, see, it can happen. Look, everybody, it's safe. Look, I jumped in. I didn't die. But then the market doesn't just necessarily, it hit 2000 and then bye. It kind of slowly transitions and trusts it. So that's what I think you're going to see here. I think you're going to see a day. I wouldn't even be surprised once this market price pushes over to like 900. Because you're at 898, it's, I think it's going to make a quick jump to 1,000 and then it's going to slowly progress. So I think even if once you see the sign of 1,000, I don't think you necessarily have to freak out and go buy at an expensive price. I think you can still work it into your budget a little bit if this is in your budget. But yeah, I think these boxes are all pretty good pickups. I do not have Lost Origin, and yes, I opened Fusion Strike booster boxes. I understand. I made mistakes, and with those mistakes, I have learned a lot. Okay, and I'm willing to admit that. I also opened Pokemon Center, Fusion Strike, ETB. But again, people make mistakes. I've made a fair share. And honestly, those things were going for $40. You don't understand what it was like at the time. Everybody hated Fusion Strike. I was like, you know what? I got it. I got it for a promo. I don't even know what the promo was at the time. Can't even remember. But they were like, buy the promo or spend $40 or something, and then we'll give you the promo. And then I bought the Fusion Strike Pokemon Center ET. Anyways, you guys don't care about that. But moving on, Paldean Fates, I think is a great pickup. We talked about this in the last stream that you should be looking at this. I think it was $64 when we talked about it. And yeah, it was the 64, 63. I mentioned it's probably going to shoot up, especially because the bubble Mew is. And of course it did. Yeah. Mega Evolutions, ETB is still hovering around that $100 price range. Yeah, I think they'll come down on release. Yeah, but also I think they're going to be good boxes to have. I wouldn't mind picking those up. Not at $100. Again, just wait till they release. But moving on. The Brilliant Stars booster box, I actually have a link up for it. Dude, I mean, okay, obviously someone went out a little crazy. 29, 585, okay. All right, so that's the most recent sell. I'd give it a second, let it kind of recoup, a $100 price jump that quick is kind of crazy, but it's on brand. It's on brand with this box, so I would say it's going to come down a little bit, probably to that 525, 540 point, but you know what? It might not, and it's not going to stay there. Let's go look at what's in this box. Okay. If I told you you're about to have, in a set, you're going to have a full art, okay? You're going to have alt arts for Charizard, Umbreon VMAX, Charizard V-Star, Mimikyu with trainer, Sylveon trainer, another Umbreon. I mean, look at, dude, this is a pretty sick. This is a pretty sick package, man. Honestly. And you know what? Maybe I'm a sucker for Blue or Gary, right? Having these, and I know they're not the same person. A lot of people do believe that Blue and Gary and Red and Ash are the same people. They are not. But that's for another video. Anyways, this is a great box. And what you could get inside it. All these cards have been going up pretty crazy. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Crown Zenith, but just with trainers, with trainers and their Pokemon. So it's an interesting one. I really like it. But yeah, I think Brilliant Stars is a great set. Where are we at? Premium collection kind of slowed down a little bit. We're still sitting around that $800 mark. Most recent sell for $749. Obviously slowing down, but I still think it has room. We still have the announcement to come, and there's still time for that box to run. Celebrations is still, it's pricey. It's definitely pricey now. I mean, there's not a lot of guarantee in it anymore. Not guarantee, but it'll do okay. But I think there's better investments, is what I'm trying to say. Moving on. UPC for 151. I think this is going to be a great hold. This collection can easily go over to $1,000. I think it will one day. Okay, I'm not talking about tomorrow. I'm not talking about in 3 months. I'm saying one day. So if you're in the long holds, this is one of the stronger products to be holding, I believe. Same with 151 ETB, Pokemon Center ETB. I do believe that'll push up to that price range too, even though it's kind of already there. Let's see. Black Bolt and White Flare. I'm gonna talk about some things in the singles. I think Unova Victini illustration being at 35 is kind of cheap. I think you're about to get to that point where it levels out, and 1 month isn't really good. I think this might drop to, let's see what the most recent sales are. Maybe like 33, 30, 30 range. If you could get it for $30, I think it's a great pickup. And look on your marketplace, look for stuff like that at card shows. Yeah, I think you'll do fine with that. 151 packs being at 1073. You can't go wrong with these. I'm telling you, these are going to be something you wish you would have picked up. And honestly, I'm still upset at myself for not picking up more when I could have. But honestly, when I say could have, it would have been taking out money that I don't have for Pokemon. So I am glad that I'm being smart with it. But at the same time, it was one of those things where I just knew. Usually I never regret buying Pokemon cards, which is kind of crazy to say. Because then I fast forward 5 years, and the thing I always say is I wish I would have bought more. But yeah, we'll see how this turns out. I'm not really worried about the 151 stuff. So, hopefully, it works out. I'm sure it will. But again, it's your money. This isn't financial advice. This is just what I'm doing. Sword and Shield Premium. I've been talking about this box for a long time, guys. I said it's a $500 box. What are we at? 365. I was telling you guys to pick it up at 200, 230. I did another video at like 250, 270. I mean, we're gonna fast forward, and it's gonna be $500, and I've been talking about that box for a while. I think there's a lot of, and you know what? I think what's inside, I haven't done the math in a while. If somebody is bored at work and obsessed with math, and Pokemon all at the same time, if you want to go ahead and calculate the worth of the contents of this box and then compare it to the market price right now, 365, or let's go with 354. Now let's actually go with the bottom price here, 365. I'm confident. But yeah, it's sealed, so you also get the benefit of it being sealed. All right, what else? Paldea kind of sitting there, 367. I'm excited for this thing to eventually cap over this 371 that it was once at. It's the most recent sale, 375. So already pushing up above that. Oh my gosh, reprint, it's gonna crash. Scare that a lot of PokeTubers have been pushing. And yeah, let's see what happens with the Surging Sparks. Again, we already kind of talked about this. People are going to be, oh, look at this. Someone was buying. Yeah, so, when you have these opportunities, a lot of people look at them different ways, right? A lot of people hear news, and it's like, oh, big reprint. Okay, So a lot of people will end up selling, right? They go, oh my gosh, it's going to crash. So they sell. But then there's people that are like, this is an opportunity, right? Because it's going to recover. And I already saw the potential and the value once this item is scarce, that it was already up there. So if it crashed down here when everybody thinks there's going to be a ton of it, but eventually it's going to be scarce enough to where it can go to that number, what am I worried about? If I'm going to be sitting on this, I don't really care. So that's where you see people buying this stuff up, you know. Somebody is, you know, they're not selling in a week. The person that bought this, right? They're going to do a long hold, and yeah, it's going to probably work out for them. So anyways, oh, what is this at? $1,000? Goodness, $949 most recent sale. Have we broke 1,000 yet? So sometimes I swear some people will just go ahead and just do the larger purchase just to make a point. Highest sale price, $970. I give it what's today? 23rd. September 4th, this will sell for $1,000. That's my hot prediction. September 4th. All right, let's all come back on September 4th. All right, where are we at? Obsidian Flames going up in price. We noticed that with well, you guys will see Charizards are going up, you know, so yeah, it's interesting. But it's no surprise at the same time, right? Like Sword and Shield products, you're gonna get those going up in price, and then it just transfers over into Scarlet and Violet and those sets that are going out of print. So Obsidian Flames being one of them, you know. A lot of people complained about opening this, that it wasn't too much fun because you complete it so fast and the hits were too easy and the Charizard wasn't cool enough. But yeah, people are buying it up. So, all right, moving on. Wait, did Paldean go? Oh, I guess that makes sense. Yeah. July to August. Wow. 234 to 345. Most recent sell at 470. I'm not complaining about that. I do have a case of these Pokemon Center ones. Lucked out when nobody was collecting. Yeah. Yeah, so when the market eventually does, I don't even know. I can't even say eventually anymore. But I'm sure it will. I'm sure it'll slow down. You know, but here's the thing. Right? Everybody thinks it's going to go crashing back down to where we are, right? But even if it does crash back down to where we are, well, that's way better than I was, you know, a year ago. My collection was down here a year ago. If it crashes back down to where we are, I'm still up. I'm still up big. So that's kind of my mindset. Again, it's one of those things that I understand if you're all in on this right now and you have other hobbies and this is the main hobby that you have right now and you can't picture yourself here in 5 years, go easy on yourself about this investment stuff. You don't have to be competing with my collection. This is why I don't really try to show you guys my collection if I don't have to, because I don't want anybody competing with it. And then also, you know, I don't want somebody with a bigger collection saying, oh, you know what, I have a bigger collection. What he's saying isn't important because I have a larger collection. You know, you're either gonna be like, follow me blindly because I have a larger one, or you're gonna ignore what I say because yours is larger. So anyways, moving on. I think that's pretty good for where we're at. Astral probably, let's see. Astral's kind of coming down. But if you follow this chart, you know, I think this is probably where it swings up. I wouldn't be surprised if this box pushes over to 400, 415 in the following week. Right now, sitting at 370. But yeah, I think it's going to push over that. It's about to correct. So yeah, if you see any opportunities like that, make sure to pick it up. All right, getting into the singles. I'm going to do this kind of quick. Bubble Mew pushing into the $600. But I do expect a little price correct, a little one. But yeah, this card may be the card of the era, so don't be surprised there. And let's see, Charizard pushing back up as well, 215. It dropped down to 180. We already talked about that. Umbreon kind of slowing down a little bit. I know it doesn't feel like it, but it is. Okay, it is somewhat. I know it's crazy to see where it once was, 154, but I do believe this card's going to slow down around that $700 mark. But I do believe that it's still got some room to go down. If you haven't picked up a Victini yet, make sure you do it. Card worth having. Snorlax coming off that little high that it just ran up to the $20 range, but still up big from where it was. Charizard doing its thing, always holding there. Umbreon still holding. I would imagine the 10 is still up. I haven't looked. This Mew EX, people are finally catching on. I've been telling you guys about it every stream almost. I'm not even joking. I probably feels like every stream I've been telling you guys. Still at $60, I believe this is a $100 card. It's just one of those ones you see it, you instantly know what it is. And then what happens when 151 goes out of print? Here's the thing. This card's already basically out of print. They're not doing any more ultra premium collections. So that's why you see this box going for $400, $500. But the minute that people announce this box being, or this print line being gone, you're going to see this card jump again. So look, you're getting in at a decently fair price here at $60. I understand that this card was going for $5 at one point, but give it a look, give it some consideration. It's definitely a card worth having. And yeah, I'll be picking up more if I see some, but a lot of people aren't selling them. So this Charizard also going up as well, the Paldean Fates one. No surprise, both Charizards from that era, both going up. This one from Obsidian Flames as well. Pikachu coming down in celebrations. What else? Little hot take here for you guys. I think the Black Bolts and White Flare cards, the Victinis, I think they're overpriced. I think they're heavily overpriced. Same with the Zekrom and Reshiram. I understand if you have these cards, you probably hate me for saying this, but I do believe they're overpriced. And maybe not so much the Reshiram and Zekrom, but I do believe they're going to come down quite a bit. So if those are some cards you're holding on to, good luck. Just following how people respond. Same with these Mega Evolution cards that are going to come out with the golds. I know they're like leading in Japan right now, but I don't see them holding that position here very long, especially once more and more gold cards come out. Now, if it's just one gold card and then the entire era and we don't get gold cards for like that for a while, maybe it's still going to drop. But if they release another gold card in the next set and another one and the next set, and then it just gets, it feels like the rainbows, you know, you're just like, it's the same thing every time, you know? So I wouldn't be surprised, you know, keep your mind on that. But yeah, Charmander going up as well. The Greninja and Seadra also coming down. Was it Seadra or Kingdra? I don't know. It's Kingdra, right? Where is he at? Kingdra. I don't know why I said Seadra. But yeah, all kind of coming down. The Dragonite V from Evolving Skies shooting up like crazy. You're also looking at the Moltres, Zapdos breaking over 100 again. We talked about it last week, was kind of the time you want to start looking for these cards, opportunities to pick them up. Great opportunities there. The Mewtwo V-Star still pushing up in value. Cynthia's Garchomp also. I think, let's see, what else? The Whale Lord Correction, no longer a $20 card. Must have missed something over here. The World Champion, I'm going to pick up one of these. I know it's $10, but I didn't really get a chance to grab any, so I'm going to go ahead and pick some up. And yeah, otherwise, not too many crazy things, but there's a lot of opportunity out there for you guys. So keep that in mind, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out. Y'all have a great weekend. Later.